I spent 11 years as a high school music teacher, so you would think that parenting teenagers would hold very few surprises for me. But I'm telling you, people don't talk about this enough. When you have a baby, it seems like everybody's quick with the stories and the advice, whether it's welcome or not. The feeding and the rocking and the sleepless nights and the high chairs and the car streets and which stroller to buy. Yay! What baby food to give them and when to give it to them. I thought when they could tie their own shoes and make a sandwich and eventually even drive themselves that I could breathe again. And in some ways it is easier, but I just don't think I was fully prepared for the special kind of busy that comes with this season. When they were little, I was tired in my body. Now that they're teenagers, I'm tired in my brain. And also my body, but if I'm being honest, I can't blame that on the kids. I'm just getting older. So I just want to talk honestly for a few minutes about this season because I really feel like it's kind of a void here on YouTube and maybe on most of social media, because I really don't think you're hard pressed to find lots of young moms with babies and toddlers and like younger elementary age children who have lots of great tips and lots of great encouragement for navigating the day-to-day of those years. But where are all the 20, 30-year veteran moms who are fighting back the yawns at 10 p.m. because that's when the 15-year-old has decided that they suddenly want to talk about all of the deep, meaningful things in life? Some of you know exactly what I'm talking about, and if you don't, perhaps you just haven't reached that stage yet. And let me just say that this channel is about me as a mom and how I am navigating that and how I am running my household for my family. I try to preserve as much privacy as possible for my kids, which is why you rarely see them in videos. And any allusions to their daily lives or the details are very, very vague. This is not a video to complain about my kids or my family or being a mom. If you find yourself smack dab in the middle of this season, or maybe just on the brink of it, or maybe you're just exiting it, and you feel like you've been carrying a very heavy weight, or just wonder why you were maxed out all the time, you're not alone. When my kids were little, it was constant physical activity. We had our kids pretty close together when my youngest was born. Our oldest was only 4, and our middle child turned a year old just 6 days after that youngest kid was born. Diapers, car seats, nap schedules, snacks every 15 minutes. I'm pretty sure there were about 5 years of our lives that are just a total blur. And it was loud and lovely and chaotic and cute and exhausting and beautiful all at the same time. But now it's different. The baby is 12. And his sisters are 13 and 16. They can pack their own lunches, they can bathe themselves, they can brush their hair and their teeth without my help most of the time. They're a lot more independent in many ways, but the load feels heavier than I expected parenting teenagers, especially mentally. Speaking of packing their own lunches, I'm helping facilitate that by making another loaf of sandwich bread right now. So I'm not managing toddlers and tantrums anymore, but I am still managing a lot. Schools, sports and activities, friendships, grades, emotions, definitely emotions. And did I mention schedules? I mean, holy moly, I had no idea how busy it would get. And I really feel like we do less than the average family. I mean, we say no to a lot, but all that work as a mom to teenagers is mainly managed inside my noggin. I am the keeper of the calendar, and boy, howdy, is it a doozy. Practices, games, auditions, concerts, orthodontist appointments, early release days, field trips. Not to mention the deadlines, fees, forms, projects, assignments, registrations. And in a closely related category, I am also the secretary, the communicator. Sometimes I feel like I need a completely separate device just to manage all of the apps and social media pages I have to cover just to stay up to date. I am not exaggerating when I say I am in 16 different group me's for various school and sports organizations. It's insane. And I have a driver now, but even when they can drive themselves, I feel like I'm still the one in charge of remembering. I feel the need to try to keep everything organized, but if I'm being honest, I can hardly think past 1 week at a time, sometimes just a few days at a time. And I know there's always been lots of chatter about how emotional teenagers are and how wildly fluctuating hormones can make them act and speak, but I was still surprised by this one. When they're little, fixing things can be as easy as, you know, putting the Legos back together or putting a Band-Aid on the boo-boo or just giving them a little hug. When they're teenagers, I can't always fix things. Sometimes I just have to hold space for it, you know. Friend drama, confidence struggles, academic pressure, disappointment. I'm watching them feel and experience really big stuff, and I can't just swoop in and make it better. And they don't really want their mommy swooping in and making it better anyway, but it takes just a different kind of strength to quietly help them through some of those struggles and not just like swoop in, be a lawnmower mom, plow the way through for them so that they never have to feel any challenge. And then there's the future looming so close. I mean, I've got one who's heading off to college in a couple of years, hopefully. And I'm starting to think, did I teach them enough? You know, have I taught them how to budget? Have I taught them how to cook a well-balanced meal? Have I taught them how to clean a bathroom? How to speak to an adult? Are they kind? Are they resilient? Are they confident? I'm starting to realize that I am creeping dangerously close to no longer raising kids, but being in the era of trying to launch young adults. I may be a mom to teenagers, but only one of them drives, so I'm definitely still in my school pickup era. So let's take a quick minute to thank today's sponsor, Upside. I'm back in the mom van, and I just left the orthodontist, and I'm on my way to pick up another kid for a ball game by way of the pizza place, because wouldn't you know it, everybody expects to eat dinner tonight, including myself. And I know what you're thinking, and the answer is yes. Yes, I did pay the extra few dollars for the epic garlic stuffed crust, and I don't even feel bad about it because I'm getting 20% cash back through my Upside app. Love the smell of a fresh pizza in the afternoon. Upside is a free app that gives you cash back on everyday purchases like gas, groceries, and yes, even pizza and other restaurant fare. It's free to download and super easy to use. When I'm ready, I just open it up and select the offer I want to claim in my area and then go to that place and make a purchase. I have a card on file in the app, so usually just after a few days, the cash back appears in my account and I don't even have to submit any receipts, which is nice because my mom brain is already full. I don't need one more thing to remember. And yes, it's cash back, not credits or points that may expire. In fact, you can transfer your cash to your bank account whenever you're ready. And that's great because teenagers are expensive. I mean, I thought diapers and formula were pricey, but have you bought track cleats or baseball bat or marimba mallets recently? Because I have. Upside has given back $1 billion to its users. To find out how much you could earn, download the free Upside app and use my code Mindy to get an extra 25 cents back per gallon on your first tank of gas. Again, that's 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas when you use my code Mindy. Just download the free Upside app. There's a link in the description box, or you can scan the QR code right here. And thank you again to Upside for sponsoring today's video and just a small portion of my everyday mom life. Okay, I think it is further testament to what I've been talking about in this video that I am now on my 3rd day of trying to finish it. But sometimes things that are happening in my life or in this house take precedence over my content. In fact, most of the time that is the case. So I've had to be flexible. Sometimes videos get delayed or they just don't get made at all. I will never quit you. Now, I do not have this mastered, not even close. I'm just at the beginning of this season of parenting teens. And I'm also not a professional. You know, I'm not a medical professional or a mental health professional. I am not an expert in child psychology. In the interest of simply trying to be helpful and relatable, I thought I might share a few things I'm discovering and things that I'm trying to remember as I navigate this new season. Number 1, letting go, just a little bit. Hold on loosely, but don't let go. I'm finding that I ask myself more often these days, okay, is this a situation where I jump in and take control? Or is this one where I kind of coach them through it?
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. What?
Because control feels safer, but sometimes the growth comes from the mistake or the experience. Now, obviously, we're still the parents and we have boundaries for our kids and we have rules and expectations, but giving them a little bit more leeway within those parameters to make some of their own choices and decisions. I think it's, you know, preparing them for becoming adults when we're not going to be looking over their shoulder all the time. And that's so hard. It's so hard. From a practical standpoint, having some systems around the house really helps. Calendars, I keep a paper calendar and then my husband and I have a shared Google Calendar. Let me tell you, sometimes we live or die by those things. And we don't just put the kid stuff on there. Sometimes I'm putting my own work deadlines. He's putting times when he might have late work meetings or be out of town, because that signals both of us when we might need a little extra help. From a practical, just trying to keep the household from descending into complete clutter and chaos perspective, my kids are older and they can do more. They can. And the hard part is for me not to jump in and do things for them because it's just easier, or I can do them quicker. They need to do their own laundry. They need to clean up their dishes. They need to keep their rooms organized. I mean, these are not just things that help in this household. I'm trying to remember that eventually, hopefully, they're gonna have their own little homes that they're keeping. Maybe it's a dorm room or their first apartment, or eventually a home with a spouse and children. And what I'm trying to give them are skills. And every skill that I teach them right now and help them practice right now is one that I not only have to carry alone anymore, it's one that hopefully they can take with them. One thing I really want to talk about, but I think it's going to take a totally separate video, is the cost of teenagers, how it affects our budget and different ways that we are managing that in this season. If that's something that interests you or you want to hear more about, leave me a comment and let me know. And you know, one of the things that has been very helpful to me that I learned while I was teaching high school is that it's not all about me. Sometimes their moods or their reactions or their silences have absolutely nothing to do with me, and I need to be careful not to take things personally. I'm the adult, and they don't need a perfect mom, they need a steady one. And being a calm, non-anxious presence for them, I know, is super important when there are so many other things they're thinking and feeling that feel just a little bit out of control or foreign. This also means that I have to do the things that help me remain calm and non-anxious, like taking care of my body, getting some exercise, getting some sunshine, spending time with my husband, keeping up with our friends, finding some other moms that I can chat with from time to time, and of course seeking a calm, non-anxious presence myself, which I do through my faith. So I don't know if this is helpful at all. Personally, I find it helpful to sometimes just discover other people who are in a similar stage that I can relate to, someone who's being honest about something that they're thinking or experiencing, so that I know, hey, I feel that too. So I'm glad to know I'm not alone. And like I said before, I feel like there's not a lot of us here on YouTube in this particular stage of mom life compared to people who are at the beginning. And a lot of my content is starting to reflect that. You know, I'm starting to talk more about what it's like being a mom in a household, a stay-at-home / work from home mom with teenagers. So if that's you too, you're in the right place. I hope you'll stick around. Maybe watch another video.